Hey guys, welcome back to The Art of Photography. My name is Ted Forbes. I was not going to do a video today. This has been a very tough week. If you follow the vlog, if you follow the podcast, you saw the last video that I did that I almost didn't post. I've had a very tough week, and that last video was very therapeutic to make, and I kind of threw it up, and I didn't know it wasn't for ego reasons or anything like that. And if you don't know what's been happening, my cat Finley, who I've had for 11 and a half years, he's diabetic, has been for a year and a half, and he took a really bad spill this week. And we didn't know what was going to happen the last couple days, and I am sorry to report, you guys have been so supportive and awesome. The man upstairs said it was time for Finley to come home today. And my vet and I decided it was the best thing to do to facilitate his transition. And we put him to sleep this morning. And like I said, it's been a long, hard day. And it's amazing how attached you get to our little furry friends. And the most amazing things for me, and the reason I actually am doing a video today, is I put that up. You guys are so unbelievably awesome. I had more support and more comments and more stories about your own pets and via YouTube comments, email, Twitter, Facebook. And I am absolutely floored. I love you guys. You're the best. I mean, I've got more than I can respond to right now, and I thought I have to do a video and at least give an update and say thanks. And when you do educational type videos and you throw them up on YouTube, you don't expect that you're going to learn things from your viewers. And boy, did I ever this week. Just looking at those today, I got very emotional. I choked up, I'll be honest. I got very teary-eyed reading some of those. There's comments from people that I know physically that I've met, whether they be friends, people are friends because I met them at meetups, and then people I just, I don't know or know online, or that hopefully we will meet and have a beer one day and all that stuff. And I was most amazed that you start going down this path, and anytime you have to deal with a loss, there is some uncertainty involved. And you can feel very alone sometimes. And you guys definitely have let me know that I'm not alone. And I've read every story about other cats, birds, dogs, chickens, whatever. And it really has hit home. I mean, it's amazing. The other thing that I've learned that's very interesting is, as I said, this isn't too much about photography really today, but it is. And I know this, but I needed some people to remind me that did in the comments that photography is about more than pushing a button. It's a culmination of our life experiences, of who we are, of what we've dealt with, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how it all works together. And how that enriches our lives, and then how we can turn around and visually communicate that. And I know we're not visually communicating much now, and this is certainly a low for me, experience-wise. But you know what? After a year and a half of diabetes, there is a part of this that's very relieving in a way, that my cat isn't in pain anymore, and that Finley's in a better place, and that there's higher things at work that in the long run exceed our selfish motivations for things. And I was thinking on the way home about what I was going to talk about in this and how I was going to put it together, and this is like take 4 of this, and I'm going to keep it short. I want to mention a few things about feline diabetes, just because I've been through a lot of that are very simple, and the information that I can pass along. I don't want to go through the whole story of what all happened this week. I kind of mentioned it in the other video. We had a very bad issue where Finley went into insulin shock. The short story is that we had brain damage, and the vet and I have been trying to determine all week whether this is temporary brain damage or long-term. And he hadn't improved enough. And so that's why we decided it was time to do the right thing and let him go home. And unfortunately not this home, the bigger home. And we all have to hit that one day, and it's really hard to do. And your support has been amazing. I thank you for that. Oddly, I did not plan this. We have an extremely beautiful sunset. It's the golden hour. I'm able to film this. I don't know what it looks like on the camera. what a nice way to end today. And it's tough. One thing I want to say, I want to mention a couple things about feline diabetes, and then I've got a tweet that I got today. Actually, let me start with that because it's pretty amazing. I mean, you guys have been incredible. I've gotten a lot of tweets, a lot of amazing stuff, and it's been very emotional. And I don't want to say it's been difficult because really, I mean, this has been a tough day, and I'm stunned at how many people out there, care enough and are kind and loving, and it's amazing. I got an email or tweet, pardon me, today that I want to share with you, and I got a lot of tweets actually, and I wish I could share them all, but this one is really important. We all, like I said, it's amazing. Everybody has pets. I've heard stories about pets that have been lost before, people who have pets they love now that aren't in danger, and even if you're not a pet person, I'm sure there's people in your life that make you more complete, that you love. And I got a tweet from a guy named Ian Livesey, I believe is how you say his name, and I think this is pretty amazing. He says, "At Ted Forbes, so sorry to hear," I had tweeted that Finley had passed. He said, "So sorry to hear. I think a few thousand cats around the world will get an extra random hug today after reading Twitter." And I choked up after I read that. And I don't mean this, I'm always very worried about being arrogant, but people watch this video, and if you have a cat, I can't speak for Finley. He spoke a lot, although very little of it was actually in a language I knew. But we bonded, and obviously we were very close and together a long time. If you have a cat or a pet or a loved one, give them an extra hug and give them an extra treat tonight. Pet them on the head, let them know you love them, and cherish the time you have with them. And I think there's nothing in the world that would make Finley and myself more happy than knowing that you guys did that. If you were interested, Finley's treat of choice, we did have the kitty treats, but even more important, he really liked the mozzarella cheese that came in the string cheese thing that you could rip off. That was his preference. And just seems like a couple days ago he was in the kitchen begging for it. And it's amazing how things can turn really quickly on you, and don't take things for granted. That's all I want to say today, and the main thing is you guys, thank you. I don't need to tell you all the wonderful stories about Finley. I've done 4 takes of this video that went on for too long, where I did a lot of that, and maybe that helps for me to say that, and that's why I did the other takes. We all know what that is. You know what that is to you. Cherish it, value it, and hang in there. A few things I want to say about feline diabetes, and this is my public service announcement. It was tough. It was a long 1.5 years. I've been through it. Feline diabetes, I wish I could talk more about canine if you have a dog, and I can't because I know it's different. But either way, there's 3 things, almost 4, that I can tell you that will help if you are ever in this situation. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you have a vet that you trust. And if you aren't sure 100% about your vet, find another one and keep moving until you find one. You're going to have questions, you're going to have concerns, you're going to have worries. There's a lot of fear, particularly for the humans involved, about feline diabetes. Feline diabetes, as much as I could understand in the 1.5 years that I dealt with it with Finley, is that it's a lot like type 2 with humans. You can go into remission with it. Sometimes cats cure of it. And basically what it is, it's an imbalance. Your body naturally produces insulin that balances with the sugar that you eat within food. And the blood sugar I'm talking about, specifically. When that balance is not met is when you start to get weird. And friends of mine that have diabetes, when your sugar gets too high, you can feel drunk. I think it's the same with animals. You get hyperactive. When it gets too low, you get lethargic. And it's dangerous either way. If it gets too high, it can get dangerous. If it gets too low, it can get dangerous. Most of us have a natural way of producing the chemicals correctly in our bodies to deal with this. And then when diabetes occurs, it's what that imbalance is. You need a veterinarian you could trust. I had the best vet in the world. It was a place where you're going to have to go there a lot. Finley actually got to where he was used to it. Everybody up there loved him. It wasn't a very big facility. There's a vet, a junior vet, and a couple people working the desk. The junior vet wife worked up there. They house sit. They come house sit and take care of Finley when I'm out of town. And they were all there today when I had to put him to sleep. And there were a lot of tears in that room and a lot of hugs and a lot of emotions. And it was the best because it's like, you know, he went out around people who loved him. And you don't want to see anybody go, but God, if you got to pick it, that's the way, you know. So my first advice is find a good vet. The second are short. Second one is you're going to have to exercise an unbelievable amount of patience. It's hard. It takes a long time. It took us 17 months. Last month, we finally got Finley's blood sugar down to levels where we felt good about it. And we had a different complication in that stupid effing disease that took his life this week. And I'll talk about that in a second. But it took a long time, and you got to be patient, and you got to be extra loving. Sometimes one of the side effects of having diabetes is these cats drink a lot. Consequently, they pee a lot, and the litter box is not fun some days, and you've got to be patient, so have patience. The third thing I would recommend is this, and this could have maybe saved Finley. I don't know. I've got to quit blaming myself for this. The vet had a long talk with me about it today. Finley went into insulin shock a few days ago. He had warned me about this before. You need to keep some honey packets, and this goes for canine diabetes, feline diabetes, people diabetes. Keep sugar on hand. A lot of times you can put this in your cat's mouth and it will absorb through their gums and their walls of their mouth. They don't even have to swallow it, and it can revive them. When you go into insulin shock, every second counts. I woke up Tuesday morning, I thought Finley was gone. He was as cold as the floor. He was on the floor. I wrapped him up in a blanket and he started making some noises on the way to the vet. The symptoms I was told to look for, and I'm sure they exist, is, you know, the equilibrium loss, the cat looks drunk, things like that. And this cat did not look alive. And had I done that, maybe things would be different, because it took us a good 20 minutes through traffic to get to the emergency vet. And they revived him, but at that point he had brain damage, and every second counts when you're there. That's my advice, folks. And then finally, I think the other thing too, I'm not a vet, but if you do those three things and then make sure that you know people who have been through a similar thing, like I said, it's a very common thing for cats to get. And there's got to be coworkers, friends, somebody out there that you trust that you can talk to, and it helps. Like I said, I'm having a little bit of trouble right now. I know it was an accident, but ultimately I did something I didn't know not to do that was responsible for my cat going away. And he had a good long life. He was my best friend. You can obviously tell I'm having separation issues with this because I miss him. And anyway, just do Finley and I a favor. Tonight, if you have somebody you love, give them a big hug, give them an extra treat. If you got some string cheese, bonus points, and tell them you love them. That's what Finley and I want. Guys, thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the email, the tweets, the concerns, you guys are the best. I don't know what else to say. I'm really humbled, and I'm trying to keep this video short so I can get it uploaded tonight, and longer videos take longer to upload. So give me a couple days. We'll come out with some of the best photography episodes we've ever done, and I promise. But for now, I have a little bit of time I need. So thank you for watching, and like I said, or like I always say, once again, this has been The Art of Photography, although less photographic today. But thank you for watching.